Are you looking for different ways and strategies to lower your monthly mortgage payment? Well, you're right on time because in this video, we're going to show you 3 ways that you can actually start the process of lowering your monthly mortgage payment right now. Some of these things you can actually do right away. All right. So, number one is going to be appealing your property taxes. Now, this method has been out for years, but I think a lot of people just downgrade it in a sense simply because they either don't know how to do it properly or they've never heard about it in general. Okay. So, to appeal your taxes, you do not, I repeat, you do not need a tax appeal attorney. Although a tax appeal attorney could go ahead and complete the process for you. Typically, they have a fee. So usually the fee is around about 50% of whatever they were able to save you. So for example, if your taxes were, X amount of dollars and they were able to save you $1,000 a year on your taxes, then they typically would charge you half of that, which would be $500 up front. Okay. There's also other services that's out there as well too. Some services are national, some are local. I recommend if you're going to work company to do this for you, I recommend it be a local real estate attorney or a local company. That way, if you have any issues, you can obviously go direct to the company. This is not necessarily working in the gray area. It's just not one of the most promoted ways, to essentially lower your taxes within your property. And so that's going to be one of the ways to actually do is appeal it. Now, if you don't use a company, you can do it on your own. What you would need to do is find out when the property tax appeal is actually going on within your county. The reason why I say that is because, like here in Illinois, we have so many counties, so they give every county a certain amount of time to actually complete their property tax appeals. Okay, so again, look to see if there's any deadlines you need to meet. Some of you all, that time has already passed and you have to wait until next year. So you have to find out what the qualifications are and what the steps are to actually complete that tax appeal. Typically, they want to look at properties that's around your area, around your home, your house, I should say. So usually it's going to be north, south, east, and west of your particular house. And that way you can start seeing what your neighbors are paying for, their property taxes. Then that's going to be typically a part of the appeal process. Okay. They may even ask for an appraisal report, not really an appraisal report, but sometimes they want a CMA report. And that's, of course, a comparative market analysis, also known as a comp report in general. So they may ask for that as well, too, as a part of the tax appeal process. There's no guarantee that they're going to approve it, but if you can show them that, your taxes are higher than everyone else's, or, it's not the same as everyone else's, then they'll go ahead and open that up for you. Now, if that is approved, then that means that your amount of money in escrow, which is what the bank is actually holding, your mortgage company. So they're holding a certain amount of money in escrow, and it's essentially going to be too much in there if the taxes have been lowered. So not only will you get a refund for that, but your monthly mortgage payment is going to be reduced as well too, simply because it no longer needs to have that amount of money inside of escrow. All right. Number two is going to be property tax exemption. Okay. So all homeowners typically in every state get some sort of discount or exemption simply by being the homeowner. Okay. Now, how does this work? You are allowed to have one property under your social. Okay. Because I know some of you all have multiple properties. They may all be in your name, not necessarily the business name. That's up to you. But let's say, for example, you have 3 properties. You can only use a tax exemption for one of those properties. Okay. At least that's how it works in Illinois. But essentially, what I found is that 50% of homeowners they have not activated their property tax exemption. Okay. And again, this is only for homeowners. So typically, this is to promote not only homeownership, but to also give a discount for homeowners living in the property that they own. Okay. Typically, people, the investors, things of that sort, it's not that they can't get it, you can only apply it. So for example, my wife and I, we bought our first property. We were able to essentially apply that to the property. And then of course, once we moved, we just left it like that, right? But you could easily take that discount and put it on any property that you want to. But I'm saying that to say it doesn't necessarily have to be the property that you're living in, but they want it to be, it can only be on one property. Okay. So just keep that in mind as well. Now, once you do that, what's so great about it is certain counties, like the county, and of course that we're in near Chicago, Cook County, some people may call it Crook County, but anyway, so if you have that in place, what you can do is they even go back 3 years. I remember telling one of my neighbors about the program, and again, it's nothing that it's everyone's approved as long as you, of course, are paying your mortgages, you're paying your taxes on time, things of that sort. Which, of course, if you're paying a mortgage, that's already wrapped into the monthly payment. So either way, you're able to apply that. Everyone gets approved, of course. Again, making sure that you meet those qualifications. Then they'll go ahead and adjust your monthly payment. So because again, now that goes back into escrow, they already have a set amount, because the banks have 1 year payments already in advance. So that means the escrow is going to have too much if you just got a discount, right? If you're saving money now on the taxes. So what a lot of people like to do is they just send them a check. The banks is going to automatically send you a check and you just do whatever you want to do because that's your money that they have in advance. Okay. And so again, you most definitely want to go ahead and apply for that. Many of you all can apply for that online. It is free. You just have to fill out the application and that's pretty much it, and then you're pretty much a done, it's pretty much a done deal. You just follow up and go from there. The third way of lowering your monthly mortgage payment is going to be through refinancing your home. Now, interest rates are going to be changing. They're always changing. But right now, they're not best interest rates compared to the last about 4 to 5 years. As we know, interest rates got all the way down to the high twos, low threes. So that's essentially what a lot of people would want to wait for. But it just depends because we don't know exactly when it's going to get that low again. However, right now, the Fed is already saying that they're going to do 3 rate cuts this year in 2024. So make sure that you guys are getting that information because when those rates do come down, you want to make sure that you're in position to go ahead and refinance and take advantage of those low rates. Imagine buying a home in the last 18 months when rates were over 5%, 6%, 7%. And then the rates go down to 4%. But then again, you have to make sure that you're in position and making sure that your scores are there and you meet all the other qualifications that's needed to get that interest rate. And once you get that interest rate, obviously your monthly payment is going to come down. You're going to get an escrow refund check because they already have too much money that's in there as well too. So all of that's going to play a role as well. I also want to touch back on the homeowner's tax exemption. Some counties, even if you guys haven't done it, let's say for example that you bought your house 2 years ago and you did not apply for that exemption. Once you apply for that exemption, essentially the savings difference, they'll send that to you in the mail. At least that's how they do it here in Cook County. So for example, when we activated it on one of our own properties, we didn't know about it at the time and 3 years had passed. And so what we ended up doing was we was able to not only save the money, but the difference between, what we were paying and what the new amount was, that difference in money, which was about $400, they multiplied that times how many years. And so, but the most was 3 years, which thankfully we was able to get it for those 3 years because that's what we didn't apply it for was 3 years. So it was 3 years times, I think $400 ended up being a $1,200 check. So, and for my neighbor, remember I told you about that, told him the same thing and taxes were a little bit higher. And so he was able to get a check for somewhere around about $4,500. So again, every county has something like this. Find out what that is, take advantage of it as well. If you all like this video, you're most definitely gonna love the next one and we'll see you all there.